God is saying to you today, the toughest times teach you the most valuable lessons. They show you realities that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. They push you to seek your own being, to listen to the voice within yourself when there is no one around to listen to. It teaches you the dangers of dependency on a soul other than your own, and distinguishes between the people who are here for you from those who are here for the phase that is for you. The toughest times are often the most painful because, more often than not, they do not abide by the expectations you hold. People do turn their backs on you. You do lose what you felt you had a firm grasp on, and often you come to realize that you do not even understand your own being the way you thought you did. Yet the toughest times are equally valuable in the knowledge they give you of the nature of this world, its people, and your own being. Such times refocus you, redirect you, and pull you off one path and put you on another. They are painful in nature and valuable in the waiting of knowledge. Like this video, if you have a belief in God. Life lessons for oneself. If I've learned anything from life, it's that sometimes the largest times can bring us to the brightest place. I've learned that the most toxic people can teach us the most important lessons, that our most painful struggles can grant us the most necessary growth, and that the most heartbreaking losses of friendship and love can make room for the most wonderful people. I've learned that what seems like a curse in the moment can actually be a blessing, and that what seems like the end of the road is actually just the discovery that we are meant to travel down a different path. I've learned that no matter how difficult things seem, there is always hope. And I've learned that no matter how powerless we feel or how horrible things seem, we can't give up. We have to keep going, even when it's scary. Even when all of our strength seems gone, we have to keep picking ourselves back up and moving forward, because whatever we're battling in the moment, it will pass, and we will make it through. We've made it this far. We can make it, whatever comes next. Type 8888 to affirm this to yourself. God is saying to you today, you do what you feel good about, what you think is the right thing you believe in, and where you get your strength from. You do it for yourself. Is that selfish? No, because you live your own life. As long as you do everything from your heart, your feeling, and your passion, you are doing well. Your intentions are pure, because as long as you make your own choices and act from your feeling, passion, and compassion, you do not hurt anyone, do you? In everything you do and in everything you say, people can express themselves angry, disappointed, or jealous. Perhaps this is because they are disappointed that you think of yourself for once, instead of putting yourself aside. Maybe it is because they would rather see you go down than you are doing well. And maybe they are scared, afraid they cannot make the same choices or cannot achieve the same as you. But does that entitle them to attack you and take away your security? No, absolutely not. Of course, they may have their feelings and may they speak out. But an act out of jealousy, envy, or despair is not good for anyone. Type 4545 to claim it. Instead of hurting someone by your own sense of despair or uncertainties, first try to observe, try to read a lesson, try to be happy for someone else, give someone his luck and see it as an example. We are not competitors. We can help each other. We can support each other. We can listen to each other and see each other and hear each other. Doesn't it make you much happier when you are awarded? Because it is awarded to you. It is up to you. You find happiness in yourself. Focus on yourself and let others inspire you. Instead of bringing them down, help them up and help yourself. Type, I am ready to shine to affirm. Universe message today's. One important thing to remember as you get older is that it's totally normal to go through phases of connection and disconnection. In phases of disconnection, it's common to feel isolated, lost, or alone. Things can change so much in your 20s and 30s. People start to settle down, move away to new cities, and do what they need to do to build their future. It's only natural to feel lost or alone when there is so much change surrounding you, and you can see your life changing from what it was to what it is now. Don't overthink these emotions. Understand that it's all part of your ever-evolving journey. Understand that the way we process all of these changes is different for everyone. Understand that it's totally normal to feel all kinds of different emotions through this transitional period. And most importantly, know that no matter how alone you feel, you have so much support behind you. Type 7777 if you trust God. The universe is saying to you today, maybe you lost someone you never expected you would lose. Maybe you lost yourself. That's even worse. When you have bad days that just won't let up, I just hope that you will look in the mirror and remind yourself of what you are and what you are not. You are not your mistakes. You are not damaged goods or muddy from your failed explorations. You are not the opinion of someone who doesn't know you. You are a product of the lessons that you've learned. You are wiser because you went through something terrible. And you are the person who survived a bunch of rainstorms and kept walking. I now believe that pain makes you stronger. And I now believe that walking through a lot of rainstorms gets you clean. Type, I am awareness to affirm. Angel's message today's. Even if the current circumstances in your life make you question how you'll ever get to where you want to be, you have to understand that everything you are currently experiencing or have experienced has a purpose. Because those previous steps brought you to where you are today, molding you into the person that you are. But remember, there are still so many moments to experience that will bring you joy and closer to your destiny. More laughs, more books to read, more people to meet, more risks, more love, more pictures to take, more places to see, and more food to taste. Once you believe you're worthy of having more, you'll realize you have the power, willin', you to bring those things to. Type "I am anchored within" to affirm. God says, you have to chase the things that ignite you. You have to do the things that bring you joy. You have to surround yourself with the people who bring you back, feel like you home to yourself, with the people who respect you and embrace you in ways that make you are worthy and accepted and loved. You have to do the work to heal yourself, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, so that you do not continue to approach your life within the boundary of what is heavy within you. You have to put yourself out there, and you cannot worry about what other people think. You cannot rob yourself of experience or happiness or inspiration because you are scared of how you will be perceived. You have to be unapologetic in the way that you exist here. You have to believe that your ideas and your hope and your being deserve to take up space. You have to believe that you have purpose. Type "I believe in myself" to affirm. Today's message for you: it took me years to understand that many of us are more afraid of happiness than misery, because misery and martyrdom have an inherent safety about them. One is never particularly vulnerable, nor at risk of disappointment. Unhappiness becomes a security blanket, a way to armor ourselves against deep feeling. On the other hand, happiness has an intrinsically risky quality. When we open our hearts to life, we are always vulnerable to loss, to shattering, to having it all fall away. But it can also expand and deepen, joyfully permeating every element of our life. I can often sense when someone has made unhappiness their shield, their perpetual life stance. Locking ourselves into a negative way of being is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Misery begurs misery. Only through risking something can we arrive at a new perspective. And most significantly, because the rhythms and tides of one's life can truly shift in the blink of an eye. All it takes is one good day and whole damn thing can come back to light. Type "yes" to affirm. Universe message for you today. If you would like to change your life, you must first change the way you think about your life. Thoughts are not just thoughts. They are bridges and doors and entryways and foundations. They magnetize and repel. They can build a house and tear it down. They can energize momentum or keep you idling within your own little world forever. Thoughts are investments and they are decisions. The mind will generate an endless series of options, some inspiring and others terrifying, and so you must choose. You must choose what you will return to, what you will believe in, what you will place weight on, because thoughts create feeling, and feeling creates desire, and desire creates action, and action creates reward, and reward creates more desire, and before you know it, a thought became the torch that led you down the path that is your life. If you would like to change your life, you must first change the way you think about your life. There never was another way. Type yes if you feel this. God says today, the ideal version of you doesn't exist. You do. You are 1 in a million because you are you. You don't have to hide your imperfections to make someone fall for you. You don't need to be flawless to be loved. No one is perfect, and the idea of perfection is unattainable. You are unique in our own way, and your uniqueness is what makes you irreplaceable. The real you is far more special than the ideal version of you. Be completely yourself, and you will find the person who is right for you. Stay true to yourself, and the ones who love you will do the same to you. If someone really loves you, they will love everything about you. You will always be the best for them. They will embrace your chaos and mess. They will allow you to express yourself in a plain and honest way. They will make you feel safe enough to reveal yourself as you really are. They will love you at your worst. Liberate yourself from the need to be who you think you should be. Love is supposed to set you free. Perfection doesn't matter, so forget it. Your truth matters, so live it. Subscribe our channel if you love God. God message today, some people will never understand the true beauty of a wise Sue. See, a wise soul is not always a person that sinks their head into books. A wise soul is a precious person that has lived their life through what they feel. It's a person that has survived many obstacles. It's a regular person that has learned from many lessons in life. This individual allows their intuition to lead their way. A wise soul knows that what truly matters is what's within a person. You can cross paths with one and not even realize it. They live a simple life, but have a conversation with one, and you'll feel your whole insides wanting to scream, cry, laugh, and learn from them. What they know comes from feeling things deeply. These souls have this gift of connecting with many people. Not a typical social person, but a connection deeper than you'll ever experience. You might think these souls carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, but the reality is they have the power to absorb pain and bring out the positive. Never expect them to tell you what to do. Take a good look into their eyes, and you'll see many things that you never knew. Once you feel that inner peace, you'll understand that you have been touched by a wise soul from the unknown. God says you will come to realize that growth isn't this comfortable, miraculous thing. It can get ugly. It can get confusing. It's gritty. It's hard. It's difficult to be the person who does things differently, who doesn't settle. But it's the greatest gift you will ever give yourself. It will push you towards figuring out what your own personal version of happiness looks like. And when you grow on your own terms, when you figure out what actually matters to you, and when you carve out your own path, you live on your own terms. You love on your own terms. You become the person you have always wanted to be, rather than the person you were always told to be, and that is beautiful. Because when it comes down to it, life is about making yourself proud on your own terms. It's about finding a happiness that works for you. Type, I'm optimistic if you're ready. Message from universe, understand life will always lean forward. It will move on. Through corners and detours and a lot of wrong turns. Understand no matter how lost life finds itself along the way, it will never go back. It will never move backwards, and neither should you. If sunsets came before sunrises, then all the days before you would have mattered just as much as the days in front of you. So please remember this. You are not the same person as you were. You do not carry the same pieces, the same heart, the same mind as you once did. Experience has taught you how to grow. Experience has unraveled you, broken you, and allowed you to bloom. It has changed the hero of the story, your story. So do not be afraid to lean forward. Do not allow whatever has lived in your past life to be the only good piece that remains, because it will not be the only good piece you will ever have. Be a fighter for those pieces, the pieces you can unwrap and untangle into even greater pieces, fuller pieces, happier pieces. Choose letting go of remnants, of memories, of a once great chapter in your life. Let them go, appreciating them for their value, but at the same time knowing that looking back only hurts you more, that it is salt you choose to place on a wound, and instead choose scars, choose healing. Choose to bravely fight from where you stand, not from where you once stood. Type I embody love to affirm. Self-message for you today. There are places I thought I was destined to, for which I was never meant. There are people I thought would ride with me forever, but at the first junction upped and left. There are hardships I thought would last a lifetime, but with time were swiftly swept. There are plans I thought I had all set out, but those were not the cards of life I was dealt. There are times I thought things would end up differently, but I now understand God always knows best. Type I believe in myself to affirm. Universe message for you today. A good life isn't always an easy life. Some seasons of it you will thrive, Some you will barely survive. Some seasons will be more difficult than others, filled with fear and doubts. Some seasons will go exactly the way you plan, while some will be filled with struggles and leave you with a broken heart. But through all the highs and lows of life, learn to trust your strength, and you will grow stronger each time. Even if you feel like giving up at times, one day you will look back and everything that find, despite you had to go through the journey, was still worthwhile. Type, I embrace my power to affirm. God message today, this is your life. You're allowed to change your mind, to change your heart. You're allowed to be a different person, to wake up one day and not want to do the things you've been doing all your life. You're allowed to love who you want, to move on from the people who are not good to you, to let go of anyone without any kind of explanation, without any kind of regret. You're allowed to make mistakes, to learn from them, or not to learn from them and experience everything all over again. You're allowed to forget your past if you want to, or to stay in it, but you must also understand that this is not how you will grow. You're allowed to change careers, to dress differently, to chase different dreams, to change locations, even if at first you're terrified to do so. You're allowed to dislike yourself, but also allowed to change those same parts you don't see eye to eye with, to work on them until you're completely comfortable with who you are. This is your life. Make it count. Make your own validation, your own path, your own way of life. You are enough, and you are not broken. You're a lot stronger than you want to believe. Now, breathe. Type, this too shall pass to affirm. Universe message, some periods of our growth are so confusing that we don't even recognize that growth is happening. We may feel hostile or angry or weepy and hysterical, or we may feel depressed. It would never occur to us unless we stumbled on a book or a person who explained to us that we were in fact in the process of change, of actually becoming larger spiritually than we were before. Whenever we grow, we tend to feel it, as a young seed must feel the weight and inertia of the earth as it seeks to break out of its shell on its way to becoming a plant. Often the feeling is anything but pleasant. But what is most unpleasant is those long periods when something inside ourselves seems to be waiting, holding its breath, unsure about what the next step should be, eventually become the periods we wait for. For it is in those periods that we realize that we are being prepared for the next phase of our life, and that, in all probability, a new level of the personality is about to be revealed. Type 6363 if you are ready. Today's message, sometimes life puts you in an uncomfortable position, in a place where you feel you are not ready to be in, not strong enough to handle, not emotionally prepared to work with. It pushes you beyond the limits that you had placed for yourself. Life puts you in circumstances that you feel unprepared for. And the reality is, no matter how long you wait, there are some circumstances that you never can be prepared for. There are some phases that you simply need to be pushed towards in order to mature and grow. Sometimes you simply find yourself having to taste the bitterness of difficulty in order to gain the knowledge that your soul truly needs. In life, you will find yourself being pushed out of your comfort zone, tested against your own boundaries, and learning. Sometimes through blessings and other times through lessons. Sometimes to learn the best lessons and mature in the best way, you must be willing to accept the uncomfortable position life puts you in. Type yes if you're ready. And share this video with 3 people who trust God. Universe message today: maybe the hardest seasons of life teach you a different version of happiness. Maybe in those seasons, the things you live for, the things you value most, seem so small in comparison to what you were filling your soul with in the past, seem so quiet in contrast. Maybe it is within those moments that your eyes are opened, that you learn how to find joy and peace and safety in that which you didn't even notice before. Maybe in the seasons of life where your heart aches or loss has built a home within you, happiness changes. Maybe it becomes your morning cup of coffee, sitting and drinking it as the sun rises and the world wakes up around you. Maybe happiness becomes the way the light plays with the trees in your favorite park. Maybe it is the way the sky looks at your favorite time of night, the way the moon fills the air with an energy you can feel in your bones when you really sit with yourself and let your solitude wash over you. Maybe in the messiest moments of life, happiness is your mother's voice. Maybe it is the beauty you feel when you see your friends' faces, when you hug them for 20 minutes straight, when you sit with them in silence and feel so understood and so seen in all that you are. To support our channel, please subscribe our channel and turn on bell notification.